Welcome to Rugby. I'm back here on Free Sports for another week and another dose of fantastic Rugby League action. In the studio today, where he's not here, Jamie Jones-Buchanan. He's missing in action, MIA, because he's stuck in PNG. He's had his head in a computer for 3 days doing part 2 of the amazing documentary coming up later in the show. But I've got my right-hand man here, Oliver Holmes, Castleford Tigers. Ollie, welcome to Rugby, mate. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me, mate. I'm good. I'm looking forward to it.
Firstly, injury update, because I can see, just stand up for all the fans. You've got your skin jeans on there.
Yeah, I'm looking all right.
Skin tight jeans on there.
Come to a circle for you as well.
They're like the skins.
The compression, mate.
Compression
trying to keep you ready for next day's training. Well, I've got a day off tomorrow actually, so maybe not tomorrow. But
how's the injury?
Yeah, shoulder. I had the op on December 3rd. I had shoulder op. I come back from touring in absolute agony. Didn't really realise how bad it was.
Yeah.
So I was smashing in anti-inflammatories, trying to get me through the games. I come back, I couldn't lift my arm up, so I went for a scan and then went for an op. So a couple of weeks out now. Been a long process, but looking forward to getting back playing now. I'm sick of just doing Malcolms around the field. It's driving me mad.
Mate, you mentioned Malcolms there. Obviously, the famous Malcolm really invented him. Who's your like Castleford hero? Because you're a big part of the Castleford club. You've always been there. It's your one and only club. What's
an hero past player that when I was a kid?
Anyone?
Well, I didn't see. The thing is, when I was a kid, I was on scholarship at Wakey, so I never went to watch Cass.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, I ball boyed the game that Cass got relegated in for Wakey. So it's a bit of an awkward one, really. So I can remember Cass getting relegated.
Did you cheer?
Well, yeah.
Oh,
as bad as that is, but
wow.
I'd always been a Wakey fan. I've been brought up a Wakey fan because my granddad and my mum's uncle both used to play for Wakey, so I was sort of pushed in that direction. But my dad's a Cass fan.
So, are you a Cass fan now?
I'm a Cass fan.
There you go. That's all that matters. You've jumped out of that grave you were digging there.
Yeah. No, I am a Cass fan.
So,
yeah.
But which players did you watch growing up as a kid? Who were the players for you?
Well, for Wakey at that time, it was like David Solomona and Sid Domick, Jason Demetriou, were all them sort of players at Wakey. And then, sort of when I went to Cass, it wasn't too long before maybe debut. So the best players at that time when I sort of come through were Rangy Chase, Rangy were there, people like Shenny before it went off to St Helens, and players like that really. So I managed to mix with a couple of them before they retired.
You mentioned you've got an injury right now.
Yeah.
But Cass have got a horrific injury list at the moment, but they're still winning. What do you put that down to?
It's got to be down to depth at squad. Powell is obviously massive on making sure we've got a deep squad that if anybody's injured, there's somebody there that can step in and do a job just as good as the guy that's pulled out injured. So you don't really think you'd have to use the full depth of your squad 4 games into the start of the season, but that's what we've had to do. And like you said, we're 4 from 4, still winning games and quite comfortably at the time. We had a couple of sort of the first half against Hull Yard on Friday were a bit rocky, but we managed to pull away in that second half. Probably used to them getting 3 men in mid, but 4 from 4. So it's lads like Chris Clarkson as well. That was an amazing story for him on Friday. Obviously getting shown the door by OKR and then coming back, scoring a try and playing 80 minutes against them, played well. I think it's testament to him on the journey that he's been on as well.
I bet he was fired up before the game.
I can imagine. I didn't see him before the game, but with where he's played, I'm guessing he went out there with a point to prove.
From someone like yourself, who's obviously coming back into a squad that's winning, how's the competition? Have you noticed the intensity of race? Because I think everyone, and it's fair to say at the start of the season, when Gailey gets injured, everyone kind of not writes Cass off, but he's such a big player to lose for 9 months, probably the full season.
Yeah.
What was the feeling inside the camp? What was the feeling inside the group?
I wasn't at the field session when it happened. I was at a different facility rehabbing for my shoulder. So when I got back down to the ground, somebody told me, and I didn't believe that he'd ruptured his Achilles. Yeah. And I could just see everybody around. Everybody was just gutted for him because he'd been working so hard to get back from that knee operation that he had in the off season, and he was absolutely flying in training. He was pretty much near fit, probably about maybe 5-6 weeks out. He'd just done the 5-minute test, which was a fitness test in training, beat everybody's time.
Wow.
And then bang, that happened. So the lad said they heard it go as well. They could hear it.
It sounds like a gun going off.
Somebody said they thought he'd hit back of his boots, heel of his boots, and it makes like a bit of a clunking noise. But it was just it was Achilles snapping, and so the lads, coaches, everybody were absolutely gutted for him because obviously he'd done it tough all last year, ruptured his kneecap with that tackle with Paulie. Come back, played pretty much busted. He's come back too early, had another up, and then so it's going to be a proper test of his mental toughness to see if he can get through this. But he will do. But like you said, then everybody outside the camp sort of writ us off.
Yeah.
And then we had
obviously
obviously
helped you a bit being a bit more of an underdog this year when everyone's expecting Warrington with Blake Austin to go and Saints to come good with Alex Holmes to come back in and the new signings they've made. Yeah,
well, that's we sort of got a feeling around the league that people were just sort of writing us off a little bit before Gailey had even got back as well. So we were sort of quietly going about us pre-season, ripping in, working hard, and knowing that we've got the potential in the team to go and do something special this year. Obviously that with Gailey was a massive blow, but then we managed to bring in Jordan Rankin. We've got quite a strength in depth of halves at the minute. We've got Ben Roberts as well there, Jake Truman, Jamie Ellis, but he injured his knee in the team run before we played Fev, so he had to have an operation on his knee. But we have got that strength in depth in halves as we have the rest of the squad, so we were just as confident going into the rest of the season. Obviously it's a big miss missing Gailey, but we're still as confident, and we're 4 from 4 at the minute.
4 from 4 at the minute. You've seen other Super League teams, seen highlights of games. I know you're a bit of a geek, rugby league geek.
Yeah.
Which teams have surprised you, either good or bad, this year? Teams you thought might be a bit better and teams that you're surprised how good they are?
I think one for me at the minute is Huddersfield. I thought they were going to probably kick on from what they'd done last year, but they haven't sort of done that at the minute. All have seemed to have got the monkey off the back and kicked on, Hull FC. And OK, I think they'll still be a good side this year if they don't get 3 sent off in a game again. I think they'll challenge this year, but obviously the likes of Warrington and Saints, they were the two that everyone has been tipping. But Catalan have done a job on Warrington over the weekend, so. The league,
Waking, a big win at Leeds.
Yeah, well, I think Tom Johnson sort of put it all in a little bundle for them, saying that we're not a small club, and Wakey have been there or thereabouts for the last 3-4 years. So I think Wakey are going to shock a few more teams this year. Well, I won't even say shock, but they're going to turn over some teams.
When you started out life at Cass, we can see a picture of you that Mez has nicely provided.
Matty Merrick, has he?
Yes.
Oh, he's got some bad photos as well.
Here's a bit of a look back on your early days.
Right, I'm looking forward to seeing that one.
What do you remember about the club then to the club now, and what do you put the good times down to? Is it a Powley thing, or is it other people you think need a high five?
Through the years, obviously, when I first signed,
You've seen it all. I've
seen it all. The coach at the time was Terry Mattison. Andy A was the assistant coach, and we had one physio and one conditioner that run pretty much the full club nearly. So from Terry Mattison to Powley now, there's been a massive change. Like on dinner, we'd just go to cafe and just get a full English breakfast and stuff on dinner. So that slowly changed when Ian Millward come in. We started getting food put on for us then. They were adding more backroom staff. The facilities were changing. We're training at better facilities elsewhere. We've got a new gym now, which was bought from when we got to the Challenge Cup final in 2014. So that was invested back into the club.
Yeah.
And everything now has just become a lot more professional, as the game has in probably the past 8 or 9 years. And it's been massive changes, and you can see that we were round about bottom teams, and we're a consistent top 4 team now for the last 3 years, and that's mainly due to Powley coming in and really took over from us at a bad point when Ian Millward was involved there. Like didn't have a squad big enough to cope with Super League, so that was probably a good thing for the likes of me and Adam Milner and Nathan Massey at that time, because as soon as there were a few injuries, we were straight into play because there was nobody else really.
Looking at, obviously you mentioned a few names there, but we've been at the club for so many years. Who's your best friend? Who's your friend? I guess.
Well, I've got really close to Will Maher at the minute because I've just been through a big
Will.
Big rehab process because he tore his pec on day one of pre-season. So day one we both went in the same day, had an operation, and his process has been pretty much the same all the way through it. So been quite close with Big Will at the minute. Yeah, I'll give him a rap.
That leads us nicely into K2 teammates as we go over to the Totally Wicked Stadium and catch up with Johnny Lomax and the Golden Boot winner, Tommy Makinson.
Tommy Makinson, St Helens winger, and my nickname is
Teabag. Johnny Lomax, St Helens, standoff, nickname J-Lo.
Johnny.
Oh, Johnny.
Matthew McConaughey off Wolf of Wall Street, sitting down with him like off the scene, off the film, but that's awesome.
I reckon Robin Williams would be pretty good crack if we could get him back.
Probably been like year 6 Harry Potter or something. Johnny's would be soon.
No, I think it might have been Heroes for me, year 9 SAT exam. Might have been the last one I finished anyway. Tomo would be interesting. He would be interested, some of his ideas. He'd be interesting, definitely. Yeah, Tommy would be great if it was in a short stint. He'd keep you entertained, but if we were going over a few hours, it'd be difficult.
Kyle Amor.
Yeah, Kyle Amor. Zeb Tayers up there.
Yeah, undercover.
Zeb Tayers undercover.
Out there, Kyle, undercover Zeb.
Every time we get to Costa, he's somehow got a phone call. So he's not got the bruising for a while.
He's staring at me over there as well. He knows. Probably out of these two, to be fair, best chest and arms Tomo. Overall trainer, probably Johnny.
Al doesn't make the late hours of Mad Mondays.
No, take it
Normally
back.
gets picked up. Robes very similar.
Robes.
They both got picked up last Mad Monday.
Mad
last
Monday,
train home,
not
half
allowed,
11.
not allowed out Mad
Pick
Monday.
up.
Not allowed
That's
out.
it. That's them done.
Probably Percy. When he loses it, he sulks. Because his coach's pet, Justin will come over and make it all better. So, yeah, he sulks. Matty Lees, Jack Ashworth, they travel to training together. Both just angry lads. Get up at like 5:30 in the morning, come bash a few heads at training, go home at like 4.
Yeah, it took them 2 hours to get to training the other day because of the traffic, so it just fueled it.
Angry men. Definitely not Tomo.
I'm saying me. I'm saying me.
Well, to be fair, there's only a few lads who put stuff in the gym. There's like Johnny, Tomo, Big Al will try and put something on, but he's awful.
Yeah. If you asked us most awful music taste, Al.
Yeah.
Walmsley, easily.
Yeah, one of the younger lads always got some good stuff on. You know what, Johnny fancies himself as a decent chef, to be fair. Johnny's missus is vegetarian this year.
Yeah.
So I think Johnny likes cooking up like mad salads and putting it all on like Snapchat.
I don't
or
cook
whatever.
my salads though.
Yeah, you don't cook. Obviously, I'm not best. I'm not the best thingy, but like makes them all. But pescatarian, aren't you? So just with fish.
Try to be.
Seth Paolo loves a Insta.
Yeah, he's up there. And then obviously Kyle Amor's very fun to an Instagram post or a Twitter post. So.
But with Kyle, you can let him off because he ain't doing it. He just wants some free gear, Kyle. So if anyone's out there who wants to give Kyle some free stuff, which you need, just hit him up on Twitter.
Oh, there's a few.
Yeah, so many good lads.
Obviously, we still stay in contact with Jordan Turner at Huddersfield. In terms of people that are no longer playing, I reckon Francis Melly.
Yeah,
Franny was a great crack.
Oh mate, there's so many.
Franny, there's an awful lot.
2011, we had a right team, like just for the crack.
Shenny,
JT, like JT, who was a bit later on. Gaz Wheeler, he just made you laugh every time. Gasky. We had a good crack.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Good, yeah, it was good. I'm gonna have to go Tomo again.
Or Kev
Naguama. Yeah. Between Kev and Tomo, it's beast. Probably just
Regan.
Yeah, Regan,
probably.
Easy. Robes, he's just always
he's a pain, really.
Yeah,
He's on the yo-yo test this year, and obviously there's been a few people left, and in Robes' head that means he's just got to beat them. So he basically ran until everyone else had dropped out, then beat the bleep by about 4 metres, and then dropped out. But at the end of it, it's just so he can say he's beat everyone. So I'd say Robes definitely.
Yeah.
Man on Fire or Gladiator?
Yeah, Gladiator's class. But I got kids, so I like watching.
Wreck-It Ralph.
I like watching like Coco and things like that.
Right, good film, Coco. To be fair.
Yeah, go Gladiator.
Saints teammates there, Tommy Makinson. What a year he had last year.
He's been phenomenal, hasn't he? He's one when we preview St Helens, he's one of the players that we'll sort of look at and identify as being a real problem when we're defending. Obviously, he carries the ball.
How difficult is it to tackle?
He's probably he's different to most wingers in the league with how he carries the ball.
How do you mean?
Just with how the pace he carries the ball and how he can find the gap and find the floor, he's probably the best at it in the league, and he probably wins most penalties. So he's coming out of yardage when Saints coming out. If you stop Tommy Makinson, you've got a fair old chance of stopping the meters and the penalties that Saints work on.
Because if they get a roll on with such big forwards,
it becomes a massive issue, and it starts pretty much with Tommy Makinson.
Big game this week, Warrington away. It's going to be a real test.
It is. We've identified this week as a bit of a statement game. Obviously, Warrington have recruited well, and everybody's tipping them to go on to probably win something this year. So we're over at their place, but we are obviously down on numbers as well. But we did it last year. We went over there with a bit of a scratch
Holmes
side.
kicking balls from.
Yeah.
From
So I had to do 10 minutes at hooker because Adam Milner got sin-binned. So that wasn't ideal. But we managed to turn them over then, and we had a bit of a scratch side then. So. But we'll field a team that's good enough to get the win, and we'll just have to go over and perform.
Ollie, what a lot of people don't know is you're going to be part of the Rugby M team with Jai Hitchcock's one of your big friends off the field.
Yep.
You had a show on Proper Sport, that finished, and you're looking for a new platform. You're going to be live going through our Facebook channels for Rugby M, joining the Rugby M team, and bringing the banter. Give us a synopsis of what your show's going to be. The Jai and Ollie show, or is it the Ollie and Jai show?
Well, you'll have to tell me which one you think flows better, Ollie and Jai, or Jai and Ollie.
Well, put it out there. You tell us.
I think my name first, just to annoy him.
Your Super League.
Oh, well, you can throw that one in as well, but I don't think he'll be too pleased with that one with Jai. But yeah, no, we're looking at, we'll be getting a podcast going with the Rugby A team, and we'll be getting guests in that we think people like to listen to, and stories throughout their career and what's gone on during the week. And obviously I'll try and get more Englishmen in so we can pinpoint the Aussie and sort of attack him as best we can.
I like that.
But it's going to be a free-flowing, fun, humorous sort of podcast.
Wednesday, 13th of March it starts. Wednesday, 13th of March, around 6 p.m. on Facebook. Check it out. There'll be more information coming out before then as well. We've got some great guests lined up.
Yep.
In the second half of tonight's show, we've got two big things coming up right now. First one is competition time. Watch this. This is the Bachelor's Mushy Pea video. If you're out there watching right now, all you got to do is go to our website, www.rugbyam.co.uk, and tell us who this player is. See how you get on, Ollie. See if you can guess who. Any ideas?
I've got an idea of who it is.
Yeah.
A vague idea, but I'll keep it to myself. I'll enter a competition, I'll keep it to myself, see if I can win.
You can enter, and the prize is, check this out for a prize, tickets to the game, Catalan versus Wigan, flights, accommodation, and all your transfers. What about that for a weekend?
It's not a bad weekend in Barcelona.
For two, who would you take?
Who would I say? I've got to say my missus.
I can't believe you said your missus, because you told me off camera you wouldn't take her.
No!
You'd take your best mate.
Biggest stitch up ever.
That's what you said.
Oh, I'd take Jai with me then. We'd have a nice weekend. Nice romantic weekend with Jai.
But what an experience that'll be for those players at the new camp.
Yeah, well, there's not going to be many rugby players or people that I know out there that's going to say they've played at Nou Camp. So I hope there's a fair crowd there as well, otherwise it'll look a bit daunting.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be a bit special. I really do.
Yeah, I do. I think it's a great idea.
Now, also big news this week: Great Britain Lions, Great Britain Rugby League Lions. Got to say that apparently. How excited are you as a young player to potentially play for the Great Britain badge?
Well,
Lion.
Yeah. Obviously, when I was a kid, I was watching Great Britain's. I can remember them going over. They won in Australia, didn't they? They beat Australia over there. I can't remember what
2006.
game. Yeah, around that time. I can remember watching that. I can remember getting up early and watching that on TV. And then once they scrapped it all, I thought, well, that's it. I never get a chance to ever do it. Now they've brought it back. I think it's an amazing concept. Everybody within the world of rugby league had said that they'd love to be able to say that it represented Great Britain. So yeah, the concept of maybe being able to go on tour with them next year is this year. Would be amazing. Just need to get back on field and start playing well.
In the part 2 today, we've got the second part of the amazing documentary Jamie Jones has put together. We just watched most of it upstairs. Yeah. Firstly, as a player, what would it like to go to PNG and experience that, just for a life experience? Well,
that's what it was. It was more of a life experience than sort of a rugby experience. As PNG is a pretty unique country, really, isn't it? So we saw things out there that I never thought I'd see, and just seeing their culture and how they live out there, and rugby league's their #1 sport over there. That's the main sport over there, which just staggers the mind. But we watched a couple of games out there, one in Gabba Gabba, a village to put on 2 games. The pitch were marked out in oil, and some of them didn't even have boots on, so it was crazy. I'd seen 2 players, they'd only got 1 boot on each. And one had got a right white Nike boot on, and then the other guy had got the left one on. But then somebody had got a left like green Puma one on, so there were 3 boots between 4 feet. And they're just out there, and they're just absolutely going hell for leather for it, and they just absolutely love it.
When you've been to PNG, how did you think differently about life and the privileges you have in your life? Well,
that's one of the things it sort of put in perspective for you. So when you're out there and you're seeing that they're living in villages, and it's so far away from how we live our lives, and just the little things at home like that you'd have that you just wouldn't ever take for granted that you do. You just realise that these are so happy just living out there, just living in little villages, just playing rugby on concrete pitches, and you just see how happy they are and how they live, and you just sort of look at it and take a perspective about what's going on back home, and it's sort of for me, the one thing I just thought I need to stop worrying about stuff so much, because obviously they ain't got half as much as what we've got, and I'm sat at home worrying if I can get a log burner going. So, you need to stop worrying about so much sometimes.
Now, we've always said what happens on tour stays on tour, but it doesn't with this tour. It's all coming back on film. In your opinion, who was the man of the tour? Which players, not from your club, did you really bond with? Were you really impressed with, like, on the field? Firstly, on the field, give us a few names of players where you just thought you had a new appreciation for how good a player they were.
Well, I think one that stuck out for me was Matty Lees. I always thought he'd only had his breakthrough year last year.
Yeah.
I knew we were playing well, but out there, obviously playing with him, that first game, he just had no respect for them whatsoever. And we're in their backyard, in middle of Papua New Guinea and Lae, and he's just flying out that line and belting people. And away from the rugby field, I really sort of clicked with a couple of the Wanted boys, Depp Part and Ivy Live there, Joe Philbin, they had a good set of lads. They had like their own sort of little bond, because there were quite a few of them Warrington lads, but I was the only cast lad that ended up going out there. Didn't really see much of Jonesy, who were too busy behind the camera.
Spike Lee.
Yeah, behind the camera everywhere. I couldn't believe how much work he got done.
Last question, before we go into the part. 2021 World Cup is on the horizon. That's the whole thing about the England Knights, to prepare you guys ready for a World Cup. Give me one player who you think, from seeing him on the Knights tour, will be definitely starting the first game of the 2021 World Cup for England.
I think Matty Lees.
Do you really?
I think he'll be in there. I think if you look at the sort of the England squad at the minute, the forwards are getting towards probably back into the career. So come 2021, if there's sort of new blood in there in the front row, I reckon he'll have filled out a bit more then. And a few more years under the belt, and I think he could be in with a shout easy.
Absolutely outstanding. We'll see you right here. Do not go anywhere, because in part 2, it's the documentary from P&G. The lads have landed in Brisbane, and it's so good. Make sure you stay tuned in right here, Free Sports, for more Rugby AM after the break.
I've been to Australia 3 times in the last 12 months. 1 Foot World Cup, 1 Foot World Club Challenge, and now this England Knights tour to Papua New Guinea. Brisbane's a great city with great rugby league heritage, and this would be our first stop in our preparation for Papua New Guinea.
Steve Blakely, physio.
Adam Rowland, physiotherapist.
You still feeling jet lagged, Blakers?
Sorry, mate.
Still feeling jet lagged?
I'm not too bad. I slept well alright last night. I went straight through. So, night before I had a bad one.
Yeah, I'll say like that, kept waking up.
I woke up at 2:30 on the first night and I couldn't get back. But then I went straight through last night. Feel alright today. It's after that big training session staff did yesterday.
We're in a room with your little iPad out.
Yeah,
Like you
clipping yesterday. Looked like I knew what I was doing, didn't I?
Like you won a competition to be with us.
That's best bit of banter you've ever come up with since I've known you. A typical day for us is me and Adam will have a chat before training. We'll go through the team. Anyone who's we've seen the previous day, where we're up to with them, what our thoughts are. Anyone who's contacted us overnight, and then first thing in the morning, the guys they'll do the markers with Adam, the S&C guy. We get all the markers together. We do the other screening testing, and then we'll catch up with the players to find out who we've treated and what the level of progress has been, and then from there we'll go into assess them and take them from there. The screenings we've got at the minute, we've got the wellness tests, we've got the hydration tests, we've got the sit and reach test, the knee to wall, the groin squeeze, and all the information there gives us basically is like, as a player tightened up from the previous day's training, what kind of condition they're in. We'll kind of review those with the previous day's markers to kind of highlight any kind of issues. Obviously the wellness scores there, if somebody's suffering particularly from a lower body soreness point of view, that'll be highlighted, and then we'll go and catch up with that player and find out what is the actual issue with them.
For example, if it was a muscle injury, a muscle overload, we call them sort of myofascial, sort of a low grade overload. We'll be looking at hydration would be key for that, because if you're not hydrated, the thought is that your muscles aren't as pliable and makes you more susceptible to those kind of injuries. And just on the markers for me as well, the way that I look at them, we think like, you know, it's an adductor squeeze or you're just looking at adductors. It's not. We look at them from a very generic picture. So I look at those as all those markers look at stress to your system, to your whole body. So it's just showing us how your whole body is responding to load. So it could be, stress can come in many forms. It's not just the training stimulus, you know, it's whether you're not sleeping, it's the psychological pressures of playing and everything. It all fits into that. So although we look at like knee to wall as a range of movement thing, we're looking at the whole picture, you know, not just one thing in isolation. Post training again, I think it's always really important. Like people just think you're standing there chatting on the same spot, watching the training session all day. But you know, obviously we do chat, but you know, you've got to get to learn to know your players inside out. You know, it's not only on the bed. You're watching how they move. You can see if they're sort of compensating in training. So we're watching exactly how they've been throughout the training session, seeing if they're struggling with any aspects of training. It might be deceleration, which could be quite a common one, acceleration or change of direction. And then following training, if we feel it's appropriate for them to fully train, which generally speaking, you know, they shouldn't be out there if they can't do the large majority of it. We'll look at how to best manage that injury for the next day. So for example, if it's something that's still slightly inflammatory, you know, we'll shut it down, we'll put ice on it, we might compress it, we can use stuff like the game readies and recovery pumps. There might even be some sort of not too deep soft tissue strategies, some like lymphatic drainage stuff to encourage the lymphatic system to get rid of all the inflammatory sort of debris around the injury site. Yeah, so it depends on the particular injury, really.
We'll start with Tom Davies. Obviously, he had a little bit of a tight calf from last Saturday's grand final. He came to us after the game and said he could feel it a little bit, but he wasn't too concerned. He managed to get through training yesterday with no kind of issues, and then just after training finished, he come to me and said, I could feel my calf a little bit, but you know, he's happy enough with it. So we got him back to the hotel, and then we started checking him out from there.
So the movement's fine, it's more like I just want to stretch it really.
It's just when you're stretching it?
Yeah.
Did you do those isometrics yesterday?
Yeah.
You felt?
It's like 4 sets of 10.
Was it like down there?
Not so bad.
Not too bad. Is it set going up about here?
Yeah, it's more like...
Probably.
Right in there, really.
But is it referring up here or not?
Yeah, a little bit. It's just in and around it, right where you are now with your thumb.
So Oliver Holmes, he played for the full team on Wednesday in the international friendly v France. I think he played the full 80 minutes of the game, and in the game he got a bang on his knee. But as typical rugby players get lots of bangs on the knee, he didn't think it was much and didn't report it afterwards. And then he's approached us after the flight and realised his knee's swollen up a little bit, and it was quite sore.
Looking pretty good, but you can just see where it's bruised up, can't you? Just ever so slightly, a little bit of, like, you probably can't see it. I don't know where the light, but it's definitely there. And just tense that quad up, sit like there.
A lot better than what it was. You can still feel it a little bit, just in that same area, just around there, but miles better than what it was.
And in terms of fitting that in with the coaching staff, I like to be sort of quite proactive myself, because you know, rugby league players, for me, they pride themselves on being able to go out and play, and you know, when they're not sometimes 100% fit. But yeah, that's rugby league, isn't it?
I have an issue with vegans who eat things like avocados and quinoa. They're the vegans I have issues with. I agree with vegan and eating local produce. I don't agree with being vegan and eating quinoa and eating stuff that you have to source from the other side of the world. If you eat local produce and you only eat what's like nearby and doesn't damage the environment, then that's a really great idea. But the problem is it's when you...
Come on, start this vegan rant again.
Don't finish what you had started.
I do think you should finish this off now.
Yeah, you started it, you've got to finish it.
I felt like I was on question time or something when somebody gets up in the audience.
Ain't no heads ever like that.
Come on, rationale, just give us a 20-second synopsis on vegans.
I don't have an issue with vegans. My issue is when you eat food that's not locally sourced, you're causing as much damage to the environment and for populations the other side of the world as you are for animals and other things, and I do have an issue with that.
So avocado and quinoa?
Avocado and quinoa are my two big bugbears. Because vegans love avocado.
But why
don't
did you split with your boyfriend then over it?
Don't put that on there. No, don't. He'll literally watch this.
Just for credits, how do you spell his name? What's it called?
Immaculate. Impressive.
Phenomenal.
Class, innit? Next level.
Temptation's always in the mirror, seeing through my lies. You whisper softly in my ears, I'm craving you inside.
No. Oh! No! To the death.
Hi, Paul.
Where are you?
Have you done your numbers? Have you done your numbers? Yeah, hydration. Alright. Get it in you. Just, got a minute. Just with this game, mate, I'm going to go in now at fullback. Alright? I've not no real specific reasons for it. All I'm going to say to you is that you'll get an opportunity to play at some point. Obviously that second game. Alright? So, just where I'm going to go first one. There's a good chance you'll play in that second one, mate. So, still keep working hard, all that usual. You've heard it all before, haven't you? So, it's not to be disappointed, not to be off. Genuinely, I do think that you're somebody for the future. So, this game we're going to go in Niles. You'll get an opportunity to that next one. That's between us.
No reason though.
Not really, no, mate. Just a choice on this game, that's all. All right?
Sounds
sweet.
There you go, Tom. One more sugar.
Absolutely amazing, that, thank you.
No sugar for you.
Yeah, no sugar. Yeah, cheers, thank you.
Hey, Gemma Bloody says he's become a vegan.
Has he?
Yeah, just
We'll fall out then in that case.
How long ago was this?
I'm not talking about it, Tom.
Alright, okay, sorry.
It must be very recent if she's not talking about it.
Couple of Welsh accent that. Someone
I
them.
made you coffee, it doesn't mean we're friends.
Yeah, a bit more.
I want you to play like every second's the last second of the game. Yeah. So you out.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because your talent, I think we should expect more from you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I want more carries from you. I want more tackles. And the thing is that then more carries and more tackles can. Mate, I can go and still get 10 carries.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But when you do it, you do everything tough.
Yeah.
You hit to hurt and you run to bust.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Every time you do, you think being explosive.
Yeah.
Think one of the analogies I'll use is that if they want to tackle you, regardless of what you're playing, they should want to put their bodies on the line.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, if you have that mentality of going, right, I'm carrying it here, and if you want to stop me, good luck to you.
Yeah.
if you don't want to stop me, I'm going through you. And same defensively. Now the systems and scenarios I understand that, we all understand that, don't we? But whenever you're in there, it's whack. And it's the same, it's the reverse mentality, isn't it? Of, right, well, if you want to run at me, get ready to play the price.
Say R for me. Doesn't look like tonsillitis, and you're saying it doesn't feel like the tonsillitis you've had before.
Yeah.
So I think that's less likely. So which ear is causing you trouble?
Was it more this one?
That one. We'll look in the good ear first. Do you have trouble with your ears regular?
Not really, no.
Hey, just be straight with you. This first game, you won't play.
Yeah.
All right.
Understood.
But I'm not going to bring you all this way not to give you an opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm not way out guaranteeing it. I would like to give you an opportunity that second game.
Yeah.
Okay. Just with this first game and the environment and the conditions and stuff like that, the others have got a bit more experience on you.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I understand that. You know,
What I want you to have a real big think about, what I want you to see in practice from you, is I'd like to see you doing some bits of stuff on just grabbing people. I want you to see you ripping onto this ball as hard as you can. And I want you to see just doing little things around marking an A. It's getting forward and staying square, not going out, keep your hips square and stuff like that. If you want some help and tips on that, that's fine. That's what we're here for. I'm just giving you some insights, and I'd like you to see you lead it yourself as well. Does that make sense? Be angry, call me whatever name you want, I don't care.
But you do have some signs on that ear, which looks like behind the eardrum there's a little bit of an infection.
Yeah.
Again, could quite likely be a viral infection, but we want to turn you around quite quickly, and we don't want you to get more unwell. So on that basis, I'd like to give you antibiotics. Would that be all right with you?
That'll be fine, yeah.
Do you have any allergies?
No.
No.
The other thing for you as well, mate, is when we leave this as well, if you need help with things, just talk to us.
Yeah, I will.
All right?
Yeah.
All right, mate.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Cheers.
pal.
Have you a quick look around, then we'll get you out in the water and see what you're made of out in the ocean.
Yeah, good to have a bit of day off. Obviously, we trained the last 2 days. Picked it up a little bit yesterday, so it's nice to spend a little time with the boys. Socialising and getting to know each other a little bit better. But yeah, it's been we've had a good laugh so far. First time down the Gold Coast, absolutely loved it. Obviously, we come here down to the surf club, and it's been class so far. Obviously, been out on the surfboards. Never been bodyboarding before. It was very, very tough. We all thought it was going to be easy when we went out there initially, saying we'll be all right, but I think the boys found it a little bit tough, and everyone's struggling at the minute. A few bumps and bruises from the boards a bit when we fell off.
Been a good day off, to be honest. We didn't expect to catch a few waves, So a few lads give it a good go, and it's been class so far. We've got a few more hours here in Gold Coast, and then we're heading back to Brisbane, but there's plenty to do here, and the sunshine and the beach, and the sea's quite warm, the ocean, can't moan, can you? When you weigh 115 kilograms, it's a bit hard to balance, but there were a few times where you got, minced up in the wave, but no, it's good to try something new.
Brisbane had come to an end, and as well as our captain Jack Hughes, Paul Anderson had picked two more senior players in Sam Powell and Rob Malone. The senior leaders, I asked them what they thought of their stop in Brisbane and what they were all expecting from Papua New Guinea.
To be going into camp over there in between two tests is, it's going to be a big challenge from what I've been told and what I've heard. So, I'm really looking forward to it. And as I mentioned with the leadership thing, it's something hopefully I'm going to strive off. And I'm looking forward to the test out there, and I feel the group is. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting there.
Yeah, I think it's been class. The facilities we've had to use in Brisbane, and then
I think we get
part of the day where we can mix with some school kids and play a bit of rugby maybe with them. So that'll be great in itself, and just seeing how they live, seeing how they go about day-to-day life, and obviously they're mad crazy on rugby league. So that'll be good to see as well.
It's been good, you know. I think it's going to be like a massive culture shock going over there. Cause like you say, it's like a third world country, you know, like the facilities, and you know, even like the city we're staying in now, it's unbelievable. But yeah, it's been great so far, and you know, I'm sad to have to leave.
We had a day at Gold Coast on our day off the other day, so you know, the group of us decided on our day off we'd stick together rather than doing our own individual thing. So for me, that side of it's been the most beneficial side of things. We've also got some quality, you know, rugby stuff out of it. A lot of good quality training. You know, being in this weather, you know, we're always going to get that. But for me, yeah, it's been really beneficial to get to know a lot of the players.
Like, I've never been to a third world country before, like you're saying. I'm just expecting, you know, dirt tracks, you know, not much like buildings going on, you know, sort of being a bit crazy, a bit chaotic. I'm sure whatever I can picture in my mind, it's just whatever I'm thinking, it's still going to absolutely blow my mind anyway. And you know, I'm really looking forward to the experience. And, you know, it probably make me feel a lot more grateful for everything I have back home after I see some of the sights over there.
Oh, that's it. All right. Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, I don't like that one. And on the flip side for you, man, I don't understand when we'll be going to training, and one of the Yorkshire lads will say like, "Have you got us boots? Those boots?" Don't get that.
What can we say? Spike Lee does it again. Absolutely epic. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I think, like I said earlier, testament to Jones when he was out there. Put a lot of man hours in, and obviously you can see the benefits of it from that video. Fantastic.
But what about the vegan doctor? How funny.
Yeah, she's got a bit touchy when all that sort of come up. It would I think it must have been an ex-fella or something that was a vegan, and just throwing under the bus. Yeah, ex-fella that was a vegan. And yeah, she got a bit tasted in it. You could tell that she was trying to get a bit wound up by it.
Mate, thank you for coming on the show. Best luck with the injury. Don't forget, Wednesday, 13th of March, live on rugbyam.co.uk Facebook, is your show. Jai and Ollie show, Ollie and Jai show.
We're going to go Ollie and Jai show. I've made an executive decision.
Ollie and Jai show coming at you. What can people expect?
We're just going to sort of try and get guests on that everybody would like to listen to, close to the bone content, and you'll get a bit more of a player's insight into what goes on behind the scenes.
I love it. And don't forget, make sure you're going online, rugbym.co.uk, enter in the competition. You could be taking Jai to Barcelona, or your lass. By the time you get home, it might be your lass. You could be going there as well with Bachelors, Mushy Peas, and Rugby M. Thanks very much for watching tonight. Good night, God bless. We'll see you here, Free Sports, for more Rugby M next week.